Back to the phone lines. We'll talk next to John in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hi, John.
Hi, Hank. First of all, I want to thank you for taking my call, and I appreciate your program and people you're reaching here.
Thank you.
Very, very much needed. I have a problem here that's didn't think was a problem, but as far as alcohol in the home, in the biblical perspective of that, my wife that not recently, 4.5 years ago, passed away. We firmly believed in no alcohol in the home, but now I recently remarried. The Lord brought a new wife to me, and there's a conflict year we've been married that the alcohol that it's okay to drink in a home, we went for counseling. There's a difference in opinions in the pastors in the church I belong to that it's okay to drink at home and even out of the home socially. And what's brought up is always Jesus drank wine, and then Paul said that it's good for your stomach. But there's other parts in the Bible that says it's a brawler, it's a problem to have in your home. So my point is, I don't want it in a home, but I'm facing a conflict within our church with the pastors, just trying to get my point across. I don't know, am I wrong on persisting on that, or what's your thought on that?
Okay, well, it's a very good question. It's a very relevant question, and I'm going to have to answer this question in such a way to bring peace and harmony into the home as opposed to division. It is true, as you quoted from Proverbs chapter 20, that wine is a mocker and beer is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by them is not wise. That is true. That's a warning. But the warning there is a warning against getting drunk. And the reason I can say that with clarity is there are other passages in Proverbs and elsewhere in Scripture dealing with the subject. For example, if you look at Proverbs 23, Solomon says, "Listen, my son, and be wise and set your heart on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat. For drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags." The point of that passage is don't get drunk and don't be a glutton. And there's a reason for that. Your mind belongs to the Lord. It shouldn't be in an altered state of consciousness. You should be with clarity of thought. When you're in an altered state of consciousness, all kinds of bad things happen, including accidents, where you end up inadvertently killing someone because you've lost the ability to reason well. But gluttony is placed in the same context because we are also to be shepherds or stewards of the physical aspect of our humanity. So Paul takes up that same theme and he says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. Again, the admonition is against getting drunk. And so I cannot, on the basis of Scripture, say that wine or alcohol per se is bad. What I can say on the basis of Scripture is that getting drunk is an evil practice. Wine is a blessing according to Scripture. I mean, you can see that in places like Psalm 104 or Isaiah 25. But if misused, it is a blight. The same thing is true with respect to food. Food is a blessing. But if you're a glutton, food becomes a blight. In fact, it hastens death as opposed to sustaining life. So the issue on the basis of Scripture is don't be a glutton and don't be a wine bibber. Now, you may want to take, in concert with your wife, You may, after counseling, want to take the position, we don't want wine in our home at all because it can become a temptation. We don't want to drink socially because it may become a stumbling block to someone else. That is a very legitimate position to take, but it's not necessary, it's not mandated. You would do it because, as a matter of conscience, you want to be the best possible witness as God leaves you in this world. And I hope and pray, John, that this does not become a bone of contention in your home, but rather becomes an opportunity for understanding and will be used as that so that your family might prosper at a time.